When you're dating someone, I don't have to tell you the significance of texting. Texting is a primary form of communication when you're dating someone, especially new in the dating process. And when you send a text and your partner responds, you get a rhythm going and you can expect it. So what happens when your partner no longer responds to your text? They go 1 or 2 days. They used to respond right away. Now they don't. It seems like they're starting to ignore them, or that's more of a pattern. Should you just forget about it, let the relationship go, or should you stay in it and kind of work with it? Well, in my perspective, it's too early to let it just go, but it is something significant and you should take notice of it. There's a lot of reasons why people ignore texts. It could be something about the relationship. They're wondering if they really want the relationship. They're not sure how they feel about themselves being in a relationship. They're not sure how they feel about you in the relationship. They're not sure if this is as important to them as what they thought it would be. Or it could be things like work going on, or family, or something personal happened to them. You won't know. And it's the idea that you're thinking about all these possible reasons, or, mistakes or excuses for them not contacting you, that cause the biggest problem when your partner ignores your text. Now, I do want to talk about how you should respond. And this is how you should respond if you're going to stay in the relationship. If you're not going to stay in the relationship and you're just thinking this person is a flake, you've already identified that, and you're like, they're inconsistent, they're not communicative, those are two of my big no's, I'm leaving, then you leave. And this won't pertain to you. But if you're a person that's trying to understand it, you thought you had a good vibe with this person, then I'm going to give you the guideline of what you should do. First of all, when they do respond to your text, don't be so quick. Don't be so urgent. This is not compulsive. Don't be a jerk and wait till the next day, like tit for tat. But at the same time, just take your time and methodically calm yourself down. Like, you don't want to just write back and start just exploding on them. Give yourself 2 to 3 hours to respond. And when you do, stay cool and calm. Try to make it like, I basically, you don't want to ask them all these questions. You basically just want to tell them what you're working on today, or, oh, hey, great to hear from you, or whatever. Remember, you are not this person's ego feeder. And so they don't have, you are not the person, if they're having a bad time, then they're like, I'm going to talk to her, or I'm going to talk to him. No, they should, if they are in this relationship, then you want them to make you a priority. And at the same time, when they do respond to you, if you overwhelm them and make them feel like they've got to be on the defense, you're actually working against yourself. You're closing the communication. You're closing the relationship down, and you don't want to be too hasty. Be careful about what you say and do. And I say that because a lot of people are impulsive, and they get angry during that time that their text was ignored, and they just let this other person have it. Where were you? How come you haven't texted me all weekend? I missed, I'm so sad we missed such and such. Or don't get into that, because it's obvious if this person ignored your text for a couple days, something happened. They're not relaying that to you right away. They probably will tell you, but they're not going to tell you if you shut them down by going off on them. And besides, that reflects badly on you. Basically, that tells them that you are making your happiness all about their response, and you don't want that. That's not healthy in a relationship. That's not healthy for you. They can't do that for you anyway. So you just want to respond, my weekend was great, or, I had a great time, whatever it was. Tell them what made you feel special during that time. Don't mention their absence of text, at least at this point. Own who you are. When they ask you what you're doing, own it. Show them You have a life. Tell them what's going on in your life, not the whole list. You don't need to do that. Well, I went through some time where I was really worried about you, and then I just said, oh, well, no, don't mention that. Tell them what you're doing in your life. That's what they need to know, because otherwise you're setting yourself up that this person has control over this. This person starts, the power is no longer equal. You're giving them your personal power, and you don't want to do that in a healthy relationship. You want a nice balance. At the same time, you're showing them that if they don't show up, if they don't text, that your life is going to go on, and you were a whole happy person before you met them, and you'll be a whole happy person if this doesn't work out with them. Save face and just respond with grace, like basically say, tell them what you're doing that's making you happy and feeling meaningful in your life. And then avoid asking to see them again. And I think that's the important part. Sometimes people ignore texts and they get sloppy about dating when the partner that they have starts doing their work. So if you say, well, I'm wondering when we can get together again, don't do that. They've just avoided your text for a couple days. That's their job. Their job is to set up the next contact. And if they don't, at that point, you have to be willing to say to yourself, you know what, this one just might not meet my qualifications. This one might not make the cut. That I really thought we had a good thing, but maybe my perspective was wrong, or my perspective didn't match theirs, and that's okay too. Allow that texting time for them to teach you who they are. And if they don't make the standard you set for what a solid, good partner is for a relationship meaningful to you and healthy, then don't go for it. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.